in this example, we are given the cosine of some angle A, and we are given the sine of some angle B, and we are given information about what quadrant angle A is in, and we want to find the cosine of the sum of angle A and B, and the cosine of the difference between angle A and B. Alright, so first of all, to do this problem, realize we have two angles, and I am just all about keeping track of stuff. So we're going to create this little box in similar fashion to what we did when we had triangles. Alright, so we're going to just divide this up like this. We'll call this column, this is all about angle A, and this column is going to be all about angle B. And then we'll label the first row cosine, we'll label the second row sine. And automatically let's fill in the stuff that we know. Well, we know the cosine of angle A, so let's go ahead and fill that in. So that's negative 8 over 17. And we know the sine of angle B, which is 1. And in order to find the cosine of the sum and the cosine of the difference, you're going to need the cosine of angle B, and you're going to need the sine of angle A. So we're going to need all of these things here. Okay. So let's first start by examining this quadrant business, because this trips students up all the time. Alright, so angle A is between 180 and 270 degrees. Let's draw a little mini circle. So 180 is over here, 270 is down here, so that means angle A is right here. So angle A is quadrant 3. Alright, so we know that sines and cosines are both negative in that quadrant. Alright, so let's first go about finding the sine of A. And there's a couple ways to do this here. So let me first do this. Let me change colors here. So let me first work on A. And if we know the cosine, we want to find the sine. We can say the cosine squared of A plus the sine squared of A equals 1, the Pythagorean identity. So we're just going to substitute this stuff in. We've done this before. So we've got the, whoops, that one's squared. So we've got the sine of A is going to be 1 minus, and when we square this one out, we get 64 over, let's see, 17 squared is 289. I did not know that off the top of my head. I have that written down. And let's go ahead right now and make this a 289 over a 289. And of course this is sine squared. Moving our work up here. So we get sine squared of A, and that difference there is 225 over 289. And of course we're going to square root both sides. So we get the sine of A is plus or minus 15 over 17. So plus or minus, which one is it? Well, we know it's quadrant 3, so it's got to be the minus. So let's go erase that one. And then now that we know that, we can go ahead and write that in our box here. So the sine of A is negative 15 over 17. Okay. So let's find the cosine of B. Let me do a little erasing here. So the cosine of B, you might recognize if the sine is 1, the cosine's got to be, alright, so let's just go through the motions anyway. So we have the cosine squared of B plus sine squared of B equals 1. We don't know the cosine squared of B plus the sine. Well, that's 1 equals 1. So the cosine squared of B plus 1 equals 1. So right now you can see the cosine squared of b has to be 0. The square root of 0 is 0. So, and you probably already knew this. If the sine is 1, then the cosine's got to be 0. So let's go ahead and put 0 in there. All right, now that we have the box all filled out, now we are ready to find the cosine of the sum and the cosine of the difference. So let me go ahead and set these things up here for you. Let's do the sum first. So the cosine of the sum of a plus b, well, that's going to be the cosine of a times the cosine of b minus the sine of a times the sine of b. And we know all of these things, so let's just insert them right in here. So the cosine of a, that's negative 8 over 17. Cosine of b is 0 minus the sine of a, that's negative 15 over 17, and the sine of b is 1. So this turns out to be negative 8 17ths. Minus a minus is a plus 15 17ths, and I'm running out of room, so I'll just move that over here. Oh wait, this is times 0. Oh, I was thinking that was times 1. Okay, that makes life a little easier. Alright, so that's a 0. This one is times 1, so minus a minus is a plus. There we go. So 0 plus 15 17ths. So the answer there is 15 17ths. So let's write that right up here. So keep track of our answers here. 15 17ths. Alright, now let's find the difference. And let's erase a couple things so we can just put that right here at the bottom of the screen. It's nice to have all of our stuff here. Alright, so this is a difference, which means this is a plus. Oh, I guess I could have kept those values right there, couldn't I? Alright, so the cosine of A is negative 8 over 17, and the cosine of B is 0. Now this is a plus. Sine of A is negative 15 over 17 times the sine of B, which is 1. This is 0. Yep, I remember that one. Plus minus, so that's going to be a minus 15 17ths. So this equals negative 15 17ths. Okay, now notice these two are, the two answers are very similar except for the sign change, but that only occurred because we've got nice zeros and ones to work with. So don't fall under the misconception that if you calculate the cosine of a plus b and then you go to calculate the cosine of a minus b, that it's the same thing with the sign change. It's not. So it only worked out in this case because we've got these zeros and ones, which makes things a whole lot simpler. Alright, so some things to remember when you do these problems. First of all, this quadrant stuff is super, super important. Okay? It will mess up your whole answer if you don't have this quadrant stuff correct. The other thing is to always make this box to keep track of your stuff. And we're going to do some problems where we're going to have tangent too. And so just let me kind of give a little peek ahead as to what you would do when you have tangent. Very simply, if you have tangent, you're just going to create another level of the box like this, and then this would be tangent. So just a way to keep track of angle A, angle B, your sine, cosine, and your